G'day, 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 g'day. That was a little bit epic, only because I'd flicked one of the switches once too often, but that's okay. I'm Ros Boundy, Psychic Medium, bringing you the daily Lenormand card spread readings. Late because the power did go off just as I was about to start them this morning, and I've needed to go into what is our regular session of swimming for Thursday. The power did go back on just as we were going swimming, but got there and it wasn't at the centre. So we came back home and we were still going swimming. All sorts of little mini stories in there, but we're here now for the cards. So let's do that. And good afternoon, Karen. Lovely to see you here. At least one person tuning in live, which is great to see. Thank you. And this one I've got to manually do the turning it off. And that's good. Now let's swing over to the cards. I'll find the right button this time. Here we go. Oh, and of course we've got the sunshine coming in full blast. Hold on a sec. I might have to just swing it like this, and we do it like this. Here we go. Get it out of the sunshine. Move the camera a little bit. There we go. Now, it is the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck. There we've got the cover. You can just see that in the corner. And I'll put this here because I'm probably not going to be able to zoom in too much with this one, being that it's 5 cards. What I had this morning was particular cards. These two just flew out first. They wanted to be read whether or not, and that was it. And for some reason, I still needed to actually have what would be the 3 card spread as such. So these are what Spirit wanted us to be super aware of, first above anything, and then here we've got the regular reading as such. Okay, and we've got the Owl card. Good afternoon, Kat. Lovely to see you here. Lovely, lovely. Now let's read the Owl card. So that is, just because it's not what you were expecting doesn't mean it's not everything you've been waiting for. So, those moments where, we really want something, but actually what Spirit chooses for us is even better. Not what we wanted, it's more so what we needed and what we did really want. You get what I mean? That's the perfect card, isn't it, don't you think? And I think also in context of how these 2 cards here really wanted to be seen. And that is the choices card. So some sort of a choice has been needing to be made, or there is one coming up for today of some sort, and it's prominent. So it's either one way or the other. And it is in connection with what is our dreams come true, that is in our stars. And it's something that if you haven't had your natal chart analysed or interpreted recently, maybe it's time to go and have a refresher with what is the natal chart, your astrology, the zodiac wheel that was evident at your point in time of birth and where you were. So that's the picture that it's gauged on as far as the energies that were influencing you for what is your life and are influencing you still, because as we have the daily movement of all these planets and energies, it's those transits that make a difference for what is relevant for each and every day of our life. So here we have the connection of what is the choices that we can make, and it's gauged on what is our dreams and what is that map that is our soul with the zodiac, with the stars, because we do tend to live within that energy of what is our plan that we came into this lifetime with. And I do see many of these types of plans that we have. This isn't the only one we can use as a gauge. There is something that's been discovered called human design that I've just started moving into. Numerology is another one of those that can be used as a gauge of how we planned to be here in this lifetime and the daily influences that is creating. So that's what these 2 cards are there about and for. It's for good purpose. It is as a guide, almost as a blueprint of what we're here to do and who we are in that doing. Now with these three cards, the central one is the overall theme, and look at that, we've got a bridge. So if we even just slid that up there, here we've got a bridge between the two energies of the choices we're making in respect of what our soul plan is. And it's also very similar when we place it back here where it was, as I move them again, of course. Taking time to contemplate what is actually those choices we can make between. This isn't making between, it is the choices we make in our home space and our workspace, but it's more about the bridges and crossing those bridges. Are we doing it as we come to them, or are we worrying so much about what's in the distance that it's affecting what we are having now as our influence? We're allowing it, worry and anxiety and, what ifs to concern us too much. In our home space, we've got the owl card again. It's communication. It's really listening with all of our self, with all of the senses. This owl is sitting on that tree branch and taking it in. You can almost hear the silence as the owl is there, just taking it in. That's with all the senses. And then once that information is cogitated on, thought about, then it takes flight and does what it needs to. Regardless of what that need to is, its first action is silence and listening. You don't hear them too much when they're in that stance until they need to either communicate with one of the other owls or, give a warning of some sort. Or, I don't know, I don't speak owl. But you can imagine what it is like just in that silence of the night, because most of them are nocturnal. When they're feeding, we see the moon in the background. That silence, that allowing itself to hear the movement of mice in the grass, or many other sounds around and about. So be that wise bird, that wise person in your communications, in your home space. You don't need to be talking all the time. The best wisdom really is garnered by the silence and listening. All of the senses. That is our ears, our eyes, our nose, smell, taste even, touch sometimes. But it's also that comes from the soul, that spirit sensing with our spirit guides, right? And as we're taking that across this bridge and into our workspace, here we've got the moon. The moon is the nurturing feminine energy of what is the sun and the moon. Sun masculine, moon feminine. Goes through the cycles. Certainly matches the feminine physical body as such with the cycling of menstruation and all of that type of thing. Shining the light on the shadows in a special way. It's a softer light. It's not that it's any lesser than the sun, it is just softer. It has a silvery shimmer when we see the light of the moon on the dust as it moves around our homes. The moonbeams, I used to think they were actual moonbeams when I was a kid. All that twinkle in the windows, you'll watch the moon shining right through. And it did look like silvery little fairies coming into your room. That's how I thought of them. And to a little bit, I still think that way as well. We do have fairies. We do have other elementals in our lives. We don't see them unless we open ourselves up to that and the connections that we can have even with those worlds and realms. Here we have the mechanism of what is the physical. It's an imagination. It's an imaging mechanical type of a device that's been made to look like the solar system and the moon's part in that above it all. Tap into that. That's the energy of the moon. It is coming up for a new moon again. So I'm being well informed. I haven't looked at my astrology for a while. It's one of those things where our time gets moving along and we don't find time for ourselves, but we do gather those snippets from little posts in social media and etc. I think in our workspace, in our business, in all that we're doing to connect with how we are earning our income and maintaining that abundance in our lives, this is going to shine the light on those parts of it that we're really needing to bring forward for the moment, to bring in something that is going to really be shining in a special light, to garner our interest, to actually, take it further. That's what I'm feeling, that it is bringing it out so that it grows into that full moon that we'll have after the new moon, and continue the cycle. So that's what that's meaning for me. Good afternoon, Corinna. Lovely to see you here. So definitely feel into that energy as you're doing your work today, later into the night. I mean, this isn't shown just in Australia. I can see the star card. See how quickly the sun actually is moving across the sky. So we almost need to go like this, and it's almost in my lap now. At least I have an adjustable camera stand. I can shift it with it. But that's how quickly our timing goes. So make use of your time in the best way possible, that it's not round to the next new moon without having done anything. So in your workspace, in whatever way that is, keep an eye on, in whatever way that you use the tools to gauge the time. It could be just a calendar on a wall. It could be that you really tune into what effectively this is a 3D, looking at what is above here with the natal chart, and where all of those planets and stars, sun and the moon and etc. do sit on those houses of the zodiac. There we go. We've got it up like a plate that way compared to being a picture that way. Very interesting, the connection, that it's the one on top of the other as well. And here we have with the owl, after that silence and taking time to contemplate, to think, to feel, to see, to smell, all of those senses, to then make the choice as to, do I stay here or do I fly? All of that, isn't it intriguing? So that's the cards as they lay today. And I pushed the table out of the way. It was squishing me. Very intriguing, an amazing spread, really, and don't Spirit know intimately what we need to know for our pathway in life. So trust them. Trust your connection with your spirit realm as well, your specific spiritual guide. Trust. And yourself as well, don't forget. So thank you for that, Kat. It is spot on, isn't it? Just how it blends, how the synchronicities fall into place. So there we go. I'll leave you with the rest of your afternoon. Have a beautiful day. Keep being the best you that you can be. And I'll see you hopefully closer to the 8:30 tomorrow morning without any incident. Bye for now and namaste.